What's going on, everybody? Push a one in the chat if you can hear me. If you are on Twitter, can you please share this stream on your Twitter account or any social media account platform that you're on? We will be getting started shortly. I'm just waiting for some more people to come into the chat or come into the stream, however you want to put it. Salute to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we'll be getting started shortly. I'm just waiting for some more people to come into the chat, and I'm sharing the stream with my on my account. And make sure y'all hit the like button. Definitely make sure to do that. Sorry, I had to mute y'all right quick because I'm trying to turn this delay off. For some reason, it was a delay again on the stream, and I had to look up how to fix it. So hopefully, I fixed it. So if y'all heard something talking in the background, that was because I was looking at a little tutorial. But I'm about to go ahead and get started with this particular stream right quick. Hopefully, I'm not on here for longer than an hour and a half at best. But as y'all can see by the title, it's something that I wanted to definitely discuss with you because it was something that I saw, or some things I should say, that I saw on my Twitter timeline a couple days ago, and I even saw something today that now is going to be added in, but I'm gonna talk about that toward the end. So first off, how many of you in here follow me on Twitter? How many of you in the chat right now have a Twitter account and you're following me? Because if you're following me on Twitter, you're probably gonna know maybe one thing that a couple things that I'm gonna talk about. Okay, so all right, RJ Connections, you do. Amir, you do as well. Frank, you. Okay, cool. So it seems that many of you do. All right. The reason why I said that is because who followed me? Well, who was attentive on the timeline the day I retweeted a particular video onto my timeline? It was a particular video that I retweeted onto my timeline. It dealt with a gas station. I'll put it like that. I'm going to go into more detail, but it dealt with a gas station. The video that I retweeted onto my timeline involved a gas station. So, in case y'all don't know what I'm talking about, there was this video that was circling around Twitter, and when I saw the video, I said, "Are you serious right now?" I said, "I know I shouldn't be surprised, but the optics of it did not look good at all. It looked, as you can see on the screen, what it says, it looked ratchet, and it was. That's exactly what it was. It was ratchet behavior." So in case y'all don't know what I'm talking about, there was this chick, and I'm putting that in quotations, and I'm gonna go into the reason why I said that. That was at a gas station, had this bright pink hair that we know, of course, was a weave. She looked like one of them little trolls, and she was at a gas station, and she was at her vehicle. I'm assuming that's her vehicle. And when the video starts off, she's moving her head in a back and forth motion horizontally, almost like, well, actually the motion as if you were giving head. As a woman, if you were giving head, that's what it looked like. But that's all you could see was her head moving back and forth. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, is she really giving some guy head at a gas station, at a gas pump right now? Like, out in the open where people can see her and has no shame. That's what I'm thinking. But then as she continues to do it, she pans her camera over a little bit more to where you can see her whole face, and you see that she's not giving head to a guy. She is giving head to the nozzle of a gas pump. Y'all heard that exactly as I said it. This chick is giving head to a nozzle pump. And just so she can practice safety, she puts a condom on the nozzle head. As if this was a man that was doing it, or as if this was a man she was giving head to, I should say. At the middle of a gas station. When I saw that, I retweeted it and I said, "This is what you want me to uplift?" I said, "I think not." But then it goes even further than that. And it goes to the point where I said that I have to put woman in quotations. So somebody else who I follow on Twitter, who follows me, retweeted a video from this person's page where they were showing, like, I guess they were trying to show themselves in a very sexual manner. This person panned the camera down towards their crotch area, and they had on some, I guess those look like boy shorts or something like that. But something looked off about this imagery. I said, I may not be the smartest person in the world, but I said, this person, I'm trying to think of a way to actually say this. I said, this person looks like they're working with an extra piece of equipment between their legs. I quickly clicked off of that video. Now, people are wondering, was or is this a person in the T class who has not gone forward or all the way with their transitioning? Because I'm hearing, is it a woman with a strap on, or was it a guy who is transitioning into a quote unquote woman? After I saw that, I quickly clicked off of their page. I tell you, the stuff that you see on Twitter is crazy. It really is. But a lot of people were saying, like, well, I was saying this, whether it was a biologically born woman who was playing around with a strap on, or it was a person in the T class doing that, it was still exhibiting ratchet behavior. Who gets the grand idea to go to a gas station where the only thing you should be doing is filling your gas tank up with gas so you can get from point A to point B, or maybe go into the convenience store part of the gas station and maybe get you a snack or so? Who comes up with the grand idea to give head to the nozzle pump at a gas station? I said, this reminds me of the cucumber challenge, but it's worse because you're dealing with gasoline, something you're putting into a vehicle, something that's not supposed to go into your mouth. Y'all remember the cucumber challenge that happened back over the summer? When you had these strags going out there into stores, into the food section, and grabbing cucumbers and giving it head and sticking it in other places right there in the store. I remember when they did that. Right, Dark Media, right? Hopefully that doesn't become a challenge or a trend or a thing, because we live in the era of trends and all types of stuff like that. Yeah, but I remember that cucumber challenge. It lasted maybe for a good month, I think. I'm like, you're taking a food item that you're supposed to cook. And how much you want to bet that all those strays that participated in that cucumber challenge probably don't even know how to cook. They probably wouldn't even know what to do with a cucumber if they had one, besides putting it in their mouth and putting it in other places. But we saw what was on their mind. All they were doing was showing their head skills. And that also shows you right there that that's all they can offer. So I better not hear of anyone wifing that up. That was one video I saw on Twitter this week. Remember, there's two more. So we're talking about three different videos here. Now, the second video, I didn't retweet that onto my page. So I don't know if y'all saw it or not. So there was this party that, just everybody was at, with a party, there's going to be drinks and bottles and everything like that. So the video was recording this strag pick up a Hennessy bottle. Now, mind you, the Hennessy bottle is open and people are still pouring drinks from it. Like maybe to get a shot or something like that. She took the Hennessy bottle and decided to give or show on display her head skills to the nozzle part of the Hennessy bottle. I said that is so insanitary because other people were still drinking from that. But what made it even worse was you had all her little girlfriends in the back yassing her and amening her and clapping it up for her because she was showing her head skills. I said these drags out here are just some low-tier, low-born pieces of bacteria. Just a waste of time, space, and sperm. And then it's like you don't know how many hands have touched that bottle that night before you decided to put your mouth around it. So if you break out with something, that's on you. I'm telling you, you see a lot of things on Twitter. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is not nearly as disgusting or gross as the first two I mentioned, but it is disturbing. Now, this one I just saw today, and the way that I saw it was Nicole's view, because we follow each other on there. She retweeted it onto her timeline, and that's how I saw it. So we're taking a trip to Wally World, y'all. We're going to Wally World, where you had this strag. Yes, another strag in the Walmart. Now, let me describe to you what she had on. She had on some like dark green leggings with a black thong. Yes, you could see her thong. Like, you know how girls back in the day, like in the early 2000s, when it was that trend where girls would wear a thong and it would be on the outside of their pants, so you could see they had a thong on. It was supposed to be like a sexual thing to get boys to you. But she had a black thong on, and you can see the strap on the side. She had a crop top on, and then she had the leggings sagging. Like, she had them sagging, so her whole butt was out and exposed in the Walmart. And she had her little strag friend recording her. And she called, I guess she was pretending like she needed help with something or something like that. So she called one of the workers over. Now, the worker was a young black man. He looked like he couldn't be any older than his early 20s. And I guess she said she needed the help trying to reach something or something like that. Now, mind you, the whole time she's doing this, like her whole ass is just out. Like literally like how Lizzo's was at that Laker game. That's how it looked. And he helped her or something like that get what she needed. Then she went over there to try to give this guy a hug. The guy like curved her and was like, nah, I don't need a hug from you. He was like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. He caught on quick. He got hit quick to what she was trying to do, what she was trying to throw out there. And then he went about his business. I said, I hope that the surveillance cameras in the store caught that right there. Because that could have been a Me Too waiting to happen. I hope that the cameras in that store caught that. And then the camera cuts off. I said to myself with those 3 videos, as I said, am I supposed to uplift that? Because I absolutely refuse to uplift the strag. These are the kinds of discussions that we should be having more often. Now, I could have did this as a pre-recorded video, but I said, no, I'm going to do it in the form of a live stream. Because that is some very unacceptable, disturbing, disgusting, but most of all degrading behavior that I saw with those 3 videos. I don't know which one was worse. Probably that gas station one. But all of them were equally as bad. Because you had 2 who want to show off their head game while using devices that people will use. Well, 2 things people will use. One, if that gas went the wrong way, she could have poisoned herself, and that would have been completely and totally on her. Then you have another one who's dressed like she about to go strip while she's at the store. But the sad part about it is that kind of behavior tends to be pushed by the masses. And if you push back against it, you're looked at some kind of way. Because in this day and age, they will call that living their truth. Anybody that knows me knows that I cannot stand that living their truth, living your truth, living her truth phrase with a passion. That is one of my top 5 hated phrases. And I wish it would just die and wither away. Because when they say living their truth, they mean living in a fantasy that caters to their fuckery. That's basically what it is. And then they'll call it slut shaming. I blame Amber Thorne for that. Because, she was the one, I think, that kicked that whole slut shaming thing off. Because, she got the slut walk and everything like that. We live in a day and age where being a slut is a good thing. Where being a slut is seen as some type of woman empowerment. And I'm like, we have definitely been far removed from our ancestors if you think being a slut is a good thing. Michelle A, you say no home training. You want to know what's so crazy, Michelle A? A lot of them probably grew up in a good home. Some of these girls are what I call those new heifers, like Nunu from ATL. She grew up in a nice home, but she wanted to hang in the hood with everybody else because she thought they were cool and she was just being fake. So a lot of them probably did grow up in a good home, had a good upbringing, but they wanted to live, quote unquote, dangerously. What's going on, Gemini? But yeah, the scary part about it is, what's scary about it is that when I see videos like this, but there are children in them or children involved, I'm like, you are hypersexualizing your children like your girls. And then wonder why you have these creeps entering your DM trying to see what's good. It's like you put out this kind of energy and then wonder why you get the reception that you do. Like, how does that work? Somebody out there, please help me. Make it make sense. Oh, that's right. You can't. It's impossible. Good. Oh, that's a good point, Dark Meteorite. He said these are your church girls. Yep. Be all up in the choir singing their praises, but what were they doing the night before? Being a heathen. And what's so sad about this whole thing is that this is the element that has now engulfed the community. Like this is now what the community has become known for on a collective scale. And you can thank the aid of social media and definitely those ratchet so-called reality shows like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, especially Love and Basketball, Love and Hip. I said Love and Basketball. Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop. All them shows are scripted. And that's what's put out there. Mr. RJ Rochelle, you said, can I drop the link to the video? Hold on. Let me see if I can go and retrieve them. I don't know if I can find the one with the Hennessy bottle because like I said, I didn't retweet that on my timeline, but the one about the gas pump, I know I have that one. Let me see if I can find it. All right, I'm about to share the link to the video about the gas pump one. All right, I just posted it in there. If I can find the other one, I'll post that one too. The one that I just posted is the gas pump one. I'm gonna have to go to Nicole's views page to get that other one. The one at Walmart, a Wally World. All right, I just posted those two. Watch at your own risk. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch those at your own risk. Gemini said 6-0, just like Angela Simmons posing naked with a bag of Cheetos. I didn't see that picture, but I'm trying to figure out what does you posing naked with a bag of Cheetos do for you promoting Cheetos, if that's what you're supposed to be promoting. Now, mind you, this is a chick that's a mother. That's the worst part about it. You have a lot of these women out here who are mothers who are doing this. Like Angela Simmons is like, and you don't even need to do it. Like, why are you doing it? And then if you tell them that you don't need to do it, then they'll be like, it's my body. I can do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do with my body. Okay. Do what you want. That's on you. Caramel, you said, yeah, disgusting, wasn't it? Crazy. And thank you, Solo Dola, for putting my my Twitter link in the chat. Yeah, we live in the age of thirst traps. Getting them any way that you possibly can. And you want to even know what's even more crazy? Speaking of celebrity kids, Lori Harvey. That young woman has more mileage on her vag than a Hot Wheels car. Because now it's saying that she's with Future. She has literally turned herself into a a industry pass around. You remember that show? That song "Round the Way Girl" by LL Cool J back in the day. She embodies that, and it's sad because she's a very attractive woman, but we see she takes after her mother, Marjorie Harvey. That's what that woman been with, like what, 3 guys in 1 year. I said she about to become baby mama, whatever. I can't keep counting. It's so many. But I said she ain't careful. She about to be baby mama something. One of them numbers. I think damn. He said she about to be baby mama number 6. If she ain't careful, she will be. I know she's Marjorie's biological daughter. That's Steve's stepdaughter. Right. Steve Harvey wrote all them little so-called self-help books for women, and he couldn't even save his stepdaughter. Mm. The one who probably needed it the most, right underneath his nose, and he couldn't save her. But yes, like I said, we are in the age of the ratchet and the strag. But it seems like it's almost taboo for you even to talk about it in the way that you really should and would want to talk about it because you'll have so much pushback. But you know me. You seen the stuff I talk about on my channel. I don't care. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunity analyst. I talk about it all. Sometimes I amaze myself at the stuff I talk about. Because let me be honest, 10 years ago, when I was like in college, I wouldn't dare touch on some of the topics I'm talking about today. But then again, 10 years ago, a lot of the stuff that's happening now wasn't happening then. And it's crazy to say that 10 years ago was 2010. And that's not that long ago. If it was, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening on my end. Shout out. I'm not gonna say your I'm not gonna say your name on here, but shout out to VS. Those are your initials for the Cash App. But yeah, 10 years ago, like the stuff that I'm talking about now, I wasn't talking about then because, like I said, it wasn't happening then. Or, like I said, maybe I wasn't paying attention to it then because at the time I wasn't really worried about it. You're right, Wayne Tillman. You said that Lori Harvey wouldn't even look Future's way if he didn't have the clout, just like her mother. Yep, the apple in that case did not fall too far from the tree. It actually fell relatively close to it. But like I said, what's crazy is and what's sad is that you have this stuff pouring onto the children. That's why I made that video yesterday. Who watched that video I did about how society likes to age black children? And I put a picture of Blue Ivy right there. And then when you have those sites talking about how grown she looks, I'm like, that's sending a dog whistle out there to a lot of these creeps. They love to hear stuff like that. Yeah, Craig, that Walmart video. Yep, that one. Yeah, when she had her ass all out like she was Lizzo. That's why I don't know why you have a lot of these parents dressing their kids like they look older than what they are. I said, let them be kids. Because they're not going to be kids forever. And then when they get older and they start to rebel, then you're going to be like wondering why and how did that happen. Don't act so shocked and surprised now. You attribute it to that. But see, a lot of parents don't like to have that label of being a bad parent thrown onto them, even if they are a bad parent. And like I said, social media, so-called reality TV, and I say so-called because it's all scripted, plays a huge part in all of this. Yeah, I know, man. He said Lizzo's still defiant about it. I know she is because what's her name? Jillian Michaels came out and basically said something against her, and she didn't even go in like Dr. Boyce Watkins did, and she came back and was saying that. I'm like, I said she'll never get it until it's too late. If she one day goes to the doctor and they say you got diabetes type 2, she'll swear it's something else other than her weight. That's that deflection and denial kicking in. Craig, I didn't tell him about that because I turned that into a video. So when that video comes up, then you'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it. But that was wild. I can honestly say I've never heard of something like that before in my life. That particular topic Craig J is talking about. Don't get me started on Tiffany Haddish. I think for Tiffany Haddish, she has come to accept that she's going to be nothing more than the ratchet archetype. And I'm telling you, a lot of these celebrities, they be listening to what we be saying about them. Don't let them think that they're so busy that they don't know what we're talking about. Like when they post stuff on social media and they have all those comments come in, they get those notifications unless they have the notifications turned off so they don't know when people are leaving comments. They read the stuff that we say. And the fact that Lizzo responded back to Dr. Boyce Watkins and Jillian Michaels lets you know that she's watching what people are saying about her. Now, granted, they have a bigger following than we do, but they're listening. They're watching. And the thing is, Lizzo is doing all of this stuff in hopes that we feel some kind of sympathy for her, but it's not working. Like when she said she was going to leave social media, I said she'll be back, and she came right back on the minute Jillian Michaels said something about her, and that wasn't even like a week or two after the whole Boyce Watkins thing. But notice how she said she was leaving social media after what Dr. Boyce Watkins said, a black man. So I don't know if anybody caught that. So it took for backlash from a black man to say something about you that was rooted in truth for you to say I'm leaving social media, thus putting him in a position to make it seem like, oh, black men are just some bullies. Did any of y'all catch that? Because I caught that instantly. But when Jillian Michaels said something about her, she came back a little bit softer, and she didn't say she was going to leave social media. She hopped back on and stayed right on. Yeah, attention is definitely a drug. I wonder which one is more addicting, attention or them opioids. Or just put them one in the same and say that attention is an opioid. It's just one that can't kill you unless you probably commit suicide. Shout out to Mr. RJ for the Cash App. He said a mammy seals. Yep. And you see, she got rewarded with a spot on the reel. Because, they'll get rewarded now, but they got to stay in their place until it's time. And then if they get out of line, then it's going to be time to pull the plug. And that's another thing. Putting ratchet behavior out there in the mainstream through people like Tiffany Haddish and a Mammy Seals. I've already talked about Looney Lust for as much as I can actually contain it. Hopefully the next time I talk about her, a Petty Pendergrass video that's actually accurate and not prematurely done will be in her future from me. And like I said, if you try to tell them about their behavior, they'll look at you funny, or they'll say that you're trying to oppress them and you're not allowing them to live their life and all types of things. I'm like, we're just trying to merely point out to you that you have become nothing more than the court gesture. But some of them like that because, like y'all say, they crave attention like a drug. That key Andre Bell Washington, I said the same thing. I'm like, y'all fired Tamar Braxton for her behavior, but you replaced her with Mammy Seals. I said y'all just backpedaled a few feet. But I mean, I guess they had to fulfill that ratchet spot, that ratchet seat. Unfortunately, Manny, and unfortunately. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about this briefly. I was watching a stream that Kendra D was doing, or the Crimson Cure, and shout out to her, by the way. She's probably still alive, I'm not sure. Where she was talking about, I don't know if y'all saw it or not. Did y'all see that video where that man went to go to his daughter's funeral, but the baby mama called the police up there to basically block him from actually viewing his daughter's body? Even after he got a court order saying that he could view the body or go to his daughter's funeral? Did y'all see that video? Well, anyway, that video was highly, highly disturbing. It's a pretty lengthy video. It's about 25 minutes long. But I saw it in bits and pieces, what I needed to see, all I could bear of it anyway. But for those of you who don't know, basically, this man went to his daughter's funeral because his daughter had passed. And, well, first off, his daughter passed from cancer. He didn't know that his daughter was sick because the mother did not inform him that his daughter was sick. So he almost might as well had not known that she had died. So when he decides to go to the funeral, he got a court order from the judge saying he could go to the funeral to see his daughter. It's the last time he was going to see her. The ratchet, or as I call it, the stratchet, that's combining the strag and the ratchet, baby mama gonna call the police department and have them block or surround the casket so the father could not view his daughter's body. Had a whole spectacle right there in wherever location they were at where the funeral was located. I said, are you kidding me? I said, even in death, the strag had to make it about her feelings. So what, the father wasn't with you anymore? Because I think that's what it was about. So what, the father wasn't with you anymore? That's still his child. He had a right to be there. And apparently the court felt the same way. And then when he showed the court order, the papers to the police. Do you know the police did not move? They stayed right there. They did not move. Which means they ignored a court order by a judge. If I was that father, I would sue her and the department and the family because they also did not talk to the mother and try to tell her, look, he is the father. He has a right to be here. He has a court order. Let him see his daughter, as she transitions, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. That's all he wanted was just a few minutes with his daughter, but they couldn't even allow him to have that. Like, if y'all get a chance and you haven't seen that video, try your best to get through it if you do so choose to watch it. That wasn't a time or the place to be about your feelings. When I heard about that, you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me when Bobby Brown went to go see uh uh was it Whitney Houston, when she died, and he went to go try to go to her funeral, and they blocked him and his family that he had, his other outside family, from going into the funeral to go see her. It kind of reminded me of that. I got it confused. I wasn't sure if it was Whitney or Bobby Christine, but I think it was Whitney Houston. That's what it reminded me of. Oh, you said it was Bobby Christina? Because I wasn't sure if it was Whitney or her. No, it was Whitney because Bobby Christina was still alive and she was in the church and he was yelling out to her, but they wouldn't let him in. It was when Whitney had passed. It was Whitney's funeral. Okay, I knew I had to jog my memory a little bit, but that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, they weren't married anymore at that time, but they were married for a long time and had a daughter together. They had a family. He had every right to be there as her ex-husband, as her first husband. As far as I know, her only husband. And they did not even allow that man to go in there. And they made it seem like it was a whole spectacle. Because I remember it popped up on the news and they tried to make it seem like Bobby Brown showed up there to disrupt the funeral. And I was like, no. But see, the thing is, they had to keep putting that image out there about Bobby Brown, about him being this bad boy. That's why I don't like the media. That's why I don't like lamestream media. That's why I call it lamestream media for a reason. Because they are lame. Wayne, tell me, you said you think they gave him a hell at Bobby Christina funeral too. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be in the least bit surprised. And Vin Malaja, you said Pat was behind that. Oh, I definitely won't be surprised about that because that chick right there, she is opportunistic. I said y'all need to look up Pat Houston's track record. Y'all didn't know that was Whitney Houston's sister-in-law, in case y'all didn't know. Oh no, Nina, it's not seem. It is. It most definitely is. It ain't seems. It's blatant. It's in your face. No longer can the blinders be on. The blinders have been removed. If you have blinders on right now, it's because you want them there. And ironically, after Whitney had passed a month or so later, who did you have interviewing Bobby Christina while she was grieving? Okra, the Mammy Supreme wig free, brought in by that opportunistic witch, Pat Houston. Then they had a so-called reality show a few months later, all orchestrated by Pat Houston. So yes, Pat Houston, she's what you call a classy strag. She doesn't do all the ratchetry, but she does engage in strag behavior, but she tries to be low key with it. She's the strag that will probably sip her Hennessy out of a champagne glass with her pinky out. That's her. But yeah, the ratchetry and the the stragdom that occurs in this community has to be called to the carpet. Because the longer that it just like continues to go out like this, the worse it is. And this actually reminds me of another incident. Who remembers that video where it was some kind of, I think it was a pride event or something like that, where you had the L class twerking on police cruisers, and I think it was in DC. Some of y'all may know what I'm talking about, but they were twerking on police cruisers. The strags of the L class. Now I said, we out here getting shot by these pigs, and you want to twerk your stank booty, because I bet it smelled tart on those police cruisers while asking for equality. It looked like Freak Nick out there. Freak Nick in the 90s. That's exactly what it looked like. I could go on and on and on about stuff that I have seen on social media involving this behavior, but we would be here all night. And I do mean all night. But all I'm saying is this: the behavior needs to be called out. I'm glad that it is finally being called out. Dark Meteorite said that's why police are more lenient towards strags. Probably because they want to, you know, get it in with them. But you know what it looked like when I saw that? It looked real plantation like. It looked real bad wench like. Now it's crazy because these are supposedly women who are part of the L class, which means they don't like men, or they're not supposed to. But they were twerking on police cruisers, and not one of those police officers whose cruiser they were twerking on was a woman. They were all men. So you telling me that you will be a lesbian? I'm sorry, you will be a part of the L class to not be with a man, but you will be a part of that L class and twerk on top of a man's car who happens to be palm colored and a cop. Somebody help me make it make sense. And truth be told, a lot of those women out there that claim they're part of the L class really are not. They're probably part of the B class at best. I've heard stories about men sleeping with lesbians. I'm sorry, the L class, I keep forgetting, the L class. And they be the ones that be looking like how Queen Latifah did as Cleo and set it off. So we on to y'all. It's not like it's a huge secret, to be quite honest. Yeah, Golden Leopard 97. Some people in this chat have seen that video and know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it was, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I remember it. Nina said, "Will you do a piece on the Parchment Prison in Mississippi?" I'm not sure yet. I need to look into that. I have heard about what's going on down there. Appreciate it, Solo Dolo. He said Els will be a woman for that. You're right about that. But yeah, Nina, I'm gonna have to look more into that. But I have heard about it, though. I did hear about what's going on down there. Oh, Dark Meteorite. I had to look up who Dominique Clayton was, but yeah, I feel absolutely nothing for her. They tried to put it out there like we were supposed to feel sympathy for her until we found out otherwise. The mindset of that chick. So she got exactly what she deserved. I remember her now, but yeah, I remember her. How does my voice sound now? Because I think I just like when I was moving my hand, I hit my mic. So how does it sound now? Okay, cool. I had to unplug the mic and then I plugged it back in. All right. Yeah, I had missed and hit my mic by mistake. Cool, cool, cool. But yeah, that Dominique Clayton one. If y'all don't know who Dominique Clayton is, she was this chick. She was a I guess you can say throw her into the category of the strag as well. She was this black woman who was messing around with this palm colored cop who was married, by the way. And basically, I think the wife gave him an ultimatum like, leave her or I'm leaving you. Well, he pretty much made his choice pretty much self-explanatory. He killed her. He killed her. White Zaddy took out uh Dominique Clayton. But the reason why we don't feel bad for her is because she posted a whole bunch of stuff talking about black men on her social media accounts. Like, we deserved whatever we get when we get accosted by police officers. It's our fault we're getting shot in the streets and all types of stuff. So yeah, that was Dominique Clayton. If you don't know who she is, you can go on Google and look her up. Dominique Clayton, Dominique. Clayton spelled Clayton. No, the wife was white, palm colored, caramel. She was the side chick, and she was proud to be that side chick too. Because I think what happened was, because there was more to it. This chick was stepping out of her bounds. She basically was parading this guy around as if that was her boyfriend, even while she knew he was married. She brought him around the family, brought him to the cookout. She literally invited him to the cookout. When they say invite to the cookout, she didn't just say it, she did it. She brought this man, this married man who she paraded around as her boyfriend, to her family. Introduced him to everybody, telling them that that's her boyfriend. That's her love of her life. She stepped outside of the lane of being a side chick. The wife got wind of it and said, "Look, I'm about to leave you." He got scared. And in fear, he killed her. Now he's in jail and she's in the ground. And what's so crazy is you have her family up there acting so shocked that this happened. I said, if I was her family member, I would not have been shocked. You said, didn't she have 3 kids? She may have, but I don't think they were with him, though. I think she probably had kids from a previous relationship. Solo Dolo, she wasn't even a side wife. She was just a side chick. She didn't have a ring. She knew her. She knew her position, but she overplayed her hand. She got too comfortable. Bringing your quote unquote boyfriend who's married to your family. Are you kidding me? How did she think that was going to play out? Yeah, but it's all coming back to me now. I remember that. The family was up there saying she brought him around the family and introduced us. We thought this was a good man and all types of stuff. I said, she didn't tell you everything. She didn't tell you that this man was married and that she knew he was married. Exactly, Vince. She shouldn't have been messing with the guy. But she did. And she posted stuff on her social media account, her Facebook page, talking about how black men ain't this and black men ain't that, and how we deserve whatever comes to us from the police, and we deserve to be shot if we do something wrong. We deserve to get arrested and all types of stuff. She was saying that. That's why I really don't. First off, I didn't feel bad for her because she was the side piece, and I didn't feel bad about her because she was bad mouthing black men all over her social media accounts. It seemed like every other post she made was about black men in a very negative way. And her palm-colored zaddy is the one that ended her life. The only ones I feel bad for are her children. Because she put them in a predicament. She had this man around her kids. Probably had her kids calling him daddy. She probably told the father or whoever her sperm donor was that you cannot see the kids, but she bought this palm-colored cop around her children that weren't even biologically his. If y'all don't believe me, go and look this up. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Trust me when it comes to this story right here, because some of you are oblivious to the story I'm telling you right now. But yep, as far as I'm concerned, she got what she deserved. It is what it is. She knew what she got herself into, and that's on her. I said they gonna learn. They are going to learn. Appreciate you, Victor Belfield. That's the thing, Vin Melange. Many of them are not meeting any black men. They're just regurgitating whatever lamestream society tells them to say. Many of them probably only had one encounter with one black man, and all of a sudden, if it wasn't the one that they wanted, then it was curtains for all of us. Her name is, to those in the chat who want to know who I was just talking about, her name is Dominique Clayton. Kenneth Gardner, and yep, and you saw what happened with him. But it is what it is. I guess you live and you learn. And in that living and learning, she learned the hard way. And those like her are finding out the hard way. Now what's so crazy is the only one who really came out on top in that whole situation with the Dominique Clayton thing is the man's wife. Because if he's getting a pension, he's not getting it. So who is getting it? Most likely the wife. And she'll probably go off and be with some other man, if she isn't already. But yeah, I will never. But now that like I said, now that name has come up, I definitely remember it all right now. Like I said, one thing you don't want to do is mess with somebody with a good photographic memory. But I'm about to get up off of here. I'm I just wanted to come on there and talk about that. Honestly, I didn't expect to be on this long, but I'm glad that I did, because I'm glad I was able to discuss that Dominique Clayton story to those of you who weren't unfamiliar with it. I'm trying to think, was I doing Petty Pendergrass videos at the time when she died? I can't remember if I was or if I wasn't, but if I was, I probably did do one on her, and if I didn't, oh well. But with that being said, I'm about to hop off of this. It was good coming to talk to y'all in real time as usual. I told y'all I was going to try to do more live streams this year, so you can hear me in real time. Nina, you said, am I going to speak on Meghan Markle? What is there really to say? I'm not really surprised that her and Prince Harry made that move. We already knew what was up. It is what it is. She knew what she signed up for. If you're late, listen to the playback. With that being said, I'm about to hop off of here. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you have not done so already, make sure to follow me on Twitter and have the notifications turned on. And I will